So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Sinn Fein becoming the largest party in Stormont, despite the system being rigged against them, and also the fact that, you know, the majority of the MLAs in Stormont are actually pro or tolerant of the Northern Ireland Protocol. So this is quite an interesting video from Lewis Goodall, who's very good at his job, fast becoming probably the top three in the BBC. I'd say it's him, Ross Atkins, and Victoria Derbyshire, probably the new top team. But yeah, let's watch this video.
And they are extremely important.
He talks fast, I like it.
But most of them, let's be honest, in years to come, they'll probably merge into all of the others, and we won't necessarily remember.
He's talking about past elections.
This will not be the case. The 2022 Stormont elections will be historic. They already are historic. Why is that? Well, because as you can see here, they're still counting the votes, but we do have the first preference shares, and you can see this. Sinn Fein, a nationalist party, has topped the poll. That has never happened before in the 101-year history of Northern Ireland's existence.
We're witnessing history here, people.
Northern Ireland was literally designed, its borders were designed so that that wouldn't happen, so that there would be an inbuilt unionist majority. And indeed, if you top up the unionist parties, they're still on top. If you put the DUP together, and you put the UUP together, and you put the TUV together, a relatively new party, they still have a plurality of the votes, but the fact that you have a nationalist party coming top really does transform the political landscape in Northern Ireland, not least because, theoretically, if there is going to be an executive, Sinn Fein will have the right to nominate a First Minister. And just take another step back and consider that both in the Republic, where Sinn Fein is polling at the very top of the Irish polls, many fancy the chance of nominating the next Taoiseach.
You got to think a situation where Sinn Féin have the first ministerial position in Northern Ireland. They nominate the next Taoiseach, who might run on a Irish reunification campaign. We don't know yet how kind of that will be, how much on top of the priority list they'll be, considering, you know, we're still in a cost of living crisis, etc. That's one of the things that really helped Sinn Féin, because they focused on day-to-day issues rather than being like the DUP and focusing on something which the majority of people in Northern Ireland didn't really care about that much, the protocol. You know, the Sinn Féin actually looked like they wanted to govern, and to be fair, their vote share didn't increase that much. It was actually the Alliance Party.
If there is going to be
the Alliance Party and Sinn Féin and the TUV who did really well out of it. You know, the SDLP didn't do that great. The UUP didn't do great. So the Unionist vote share was split, but, you know, that's how PR systems work.
First Minister in Northern Ireland would also be Sinn Féin. The fact that Sinn Féin is in such rude health across the island of Ireland really does change things. And indeed, if you look at the United Kingdom as a whole, you have the SNP, a nationalist party, at the top of the poll in Scotland, and now Sinn Féin.
You know, it's very interesting that this is effectively another death knell in the union. The SNP will probably go and try and get an independence referendum in the next few years. We don't know what Sinn Féin are going to do. They are organising some sort of like community kind of talking groups, so people can talk. You know, people can talk and air out their kind of concerns and things like that, which is a good step. But we are looking on the road to the end of the union. We were probably there when the SNP really became the largest party in Scotland. But then again, they had an independence referendum back in, I think it was 2013, 2014. But no doubt there'll probably be another one, because the landscape has changed dramatically. 12 years of Tory austerity, Scotland being dragged out of the EU despite, you know, the majority of Scots voting to stay in the EU. And the Tories are very, very unpopular. And the fact that the SNP, for the most part, can actually blame the Tories for a lot of the bad things that happen in Scotland, and the SNP can take a lot of credit for the better things that happen in Scotland, because that's how politics work. You know, you deflect the bad things and you take the good things. But you know, the SNP could run Scotland very differently if they became an independent state compared to how it's being run now. Even without the whole EU stuff, you know, even without being an EU member, they'd have a lot of you know, fiscal control and a lot of other abilities to do stuff. But you know, against all odds, really, you know, Sinn Féin won out here. You know, you can see the Alliance Party did quite well as well, and I think they can probably get around 50% of votes on certain things. And I think 52 out of the 90 MLAs are pro or tolerant of the protocol, which is a majority. So even when this thing goes to consent vote in 2024, I think the Northern Ireland Protocol is here to stay, and a lot of people, you know, in the Tory party and also in the in Stormont, I think a lot of the DUP kind of unionists and other people gambled that 2024 will be the last year of the protocol because they would vote against it in the consent vote. But the fact is, you know, they failed to understand Politics is about day-to-day issues as much as it is about identity, amongst other things. We're in a cost of living crisis. Inflation's at around between 7 and 9%, depending on which indexes you use. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know I covered this during a live stream, but I felt like this was just such a interesting video to cover. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.